Welcome to the True Crime Never Sleeps podcast. I'm your host, Larry Lace. On today's episode of Murder Monday, we dive into a strange serial killer case of Belle Gunness. But be sure to find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and give us a thumbs up if you like our videos. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button to be notified of future videos. So today's story is a bit older, starting in the late 1800s in Norway, where a young woman named Brynhild Holslander Dorset dreamed about a better life. You see, she lived in a tiny village called Ingbia, that kind of place where there was nothing else to do than milking, churning, and watching over the cattle. By the time she turned 22, she had had quite enough. So when Brynhild's sister Nellie invited her to the U.S., she packed her things without thinking twice and moved across the Atlantic. After arriving in Chicago, Brynhild decided to reinvent herself. She changed her name to Bella Peterson and began her pursuit of wealth in what would be the easiest way for a woman back then to get her hands on riches: getting married. Bella and her first husband, Mads Dietlich Anton Sorensen, tied the knot in 1884. For quite some time, Bella was satisfied with her quality of life, but then a series of misfortunate followed a decade of happy marriage. First, the Sorensens' unsuccessful confectionery store burned down within a year of its opening. The couple was left with a hefty amount of insurance money, but only Bella got to enjoy it, as Mads suddenly passed away due to heart failure in their home in July of 1900. So Bella was left alone with 2 children, but she also received $5,000 thanks to her husband's life insurance. $5,000 may not sound much, but if we turn it into today's dollars, the amount would be $150,000. You could say Bella was doing just fine. At this point, Bella changed her name again for whatever reason and became Belle. She purchased a 48-acre farm in Porte, Indiana, married a fine-looking blonde Viking of a man named Belle Gunness in 1902, and finally became Belle Gunness, as she is still known today. But as you can guess, bad luck followed Belle wherever she went. And just a half year after the wedding, Peter was found dead in their home. Belle explained that a meat grinder had fallen from the shelf and struck her husband in the head. How unfortunate. So finding herself again without a man, Belle turned to a lovelorn column in the newspaper to look for wealthy suitors, and I tell you, there were lots of them. Man after man arrived at the Gunness farm, bringing gifts and money to the woman they fancied. But strangely, these suitors never left, not a single one. So either Belle was gathering a harem, or something far more sinister was going on. I'll let you guess which one turned out to be true. Just when things began to get heated with the relatives of the missing men, Belle's farmhouse burned to the ground on April 27, 1908. What the investigators found in the ruins was shocking, to say the least. They came across a dumping ground of a serial killer. The police discovered remains of at least 11 people, including arms hacked from the shoulders down and masses of human bone wrapped in loose flesh that dripped like jelly. On top of that, the officers found the bodies of 3 children and a headless adult woman, who was at first believed to be Belle Gunness. A man named Ray Lamphere, who had been Belle's hired hand, was arrested and convicted of arson, but he denied having anything to do with the murders. It wasn't until his deathbed that Ray finally confessed he had helped Belle get rid of the bodies of at least 42 men. He had invited them to her farm, taken their money, and poisoned or beaten them to death. The chilling thing is that nobody knows who the headless woman was. Did Belle Gunness really die that day, or did she stage her death to escape? Most likely, we will never know, but one thing is sure: it was not the misfortune that killed Belle's 2 husbands. Let us know your thoughts on this case in the comments section below. What did you think happened to Belle Gunness? Did she survive? Did she escape? Let us know. And of course, if you want us to support the channel, you can go ahead and buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/TCNS. Your support helps the channel grow, upgrade our equipment, be able to take this show on the road. And as always, thank you so much for watching and listening. We will see you next time.